Hey guys, how you doing? This is Benjamin with Benjamin's Exotics, and in this video today, we're going to be looking at a kind of controversial, I guess, morph or subject with ball pythons, and that is, of course, the spider ball python. Now, I'm doing this video because I like, just showing off some ball python morphs and talking about them, but I've also been seeing some spiders getting some pretty negative hits in the, reptile community recently, and all for good reason. Few things I'll address, but let's talk about the biggest thing with spiders. So, spider ball python is, in my opinion, not only a pattern mutation, but also a color mutation. While it does not take the brown to a whole nother level, it keeps it around, and it also adds some different blushing. But overall, it's basically a pattern mutation that adds the spider webbing pattern down the whole snake. Now, I did see a video recently, and I'll show you guys that this is not true for all spiders, is the head wobble, okay? Now, when I say it's not true for all spiders, there's some good examples, meaning not very bad examples of head wobble. There's some really bad examples of head wobble that are, pretty bad. Now, as you see when I hold this snake up, he actually does not seem too bad. Now, he'll do a little bit of weird stuff sometimes, but overall, he's fine. He's looking around. He might do a little bit of a weird thing with his head once in a while, but besides that, he's pretty good. And his stomach actually looks pink on camera, but it's not. So here's something I saw recently on YouTube. I'll say the person's name because I don't want to get out the wrong message. This person is, I believe, oh my gosh, I can't remember their name now. It's like they work with Go Herping. It's like Animal Adventures or something like that. They've done some amazing stuff with Go Herping, which is another guy's YouTube channel. They've rescued lots of animals, but he showed a video recently showing, I believe it was a spinner blast ball python, which would have been spider, pastel, and then pinstripe. I unfortunately don't have the pinstripe gene yet, but it might be coming up soon. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. That's a little bit of a giveaway, but basically he said in his video that one of the reasons that he thinks we should stop breeding spider ball pythons is because when you flip them over, they can't flip themselves back up because of their head wobble. Now, let's try it with this one. Okay, so test one, kind of, he did. He flipped himself back over. Now let's try it again. Let's try even more. Maybe let's even go a little bit more aggressive. Not aggressive, but let's flip him over, shake with him a little bit, keep going back and forth. I don't want to be mean to this snake, but I'm kind of holding him up right now. I'm trying to get his head, flip him over basically, because what he did in the video was this guy flipped the snake over and it didn't have a very quick reaction time to get back up. And as you can see, this spider's reaction time is a little bit slower, but he still does figure it out. Now, I'm not going to say that the head wobble doesn't have a little bit to do with that, but as you can see, when this animal is flipped upright, just like that, the animal does flip itself over relatively quickly, unlike what was showed in his video. I'm not doing this to knock on his channel. I like his channel. He's done some really good stuff, Animal Adventures, but the stuff that he showed in that video, because I know lots of people saw it, or a good amount of people at least, I think 3,000 right now, and it came out like 2 days ago or something. The fact that all spiders do that, or most spiders do that, simply isn't true. As you saw with mine, and I'll even do it one more time. Flip him over, like that, and there you go. Within a few seconds, he flips himself back over, and he's really riled up now, so he's going. So, and this is a snake that shouldn't even have that much energy. He hasn't eaten in like 2 months. So, I don't know. So the main thing with the spider ball python, I just thought I would address Animal Adventures real quick. If he watches this video, if he's linked to this video, great. I would love to have a conversation through email or phone call with him sometime about this. This is not a hate video, like I've already said. This is just expressing that what he showed on there, I don't want people getting the wrong, basically idea. Spiders are not all like that. So, what's the biggest downfall to the spider ball python? They look cool, they're great, get to a pretty good size, seem to have a really aggressive food response in my opinion in many cases, and they're all around just a great animal. What's the biggest con and drawback? And that is, as I've already talked about, the head wobble. And all that really is that some spiders, they'll be sitting here and their heads will be wobbling back and forth because they're a little bit nervous sometimes. As you can see, this snake barely has it at all. Sometimes they'll do weird things where they'll take their head and they'll go upside down and back and forth and stuff like that because they're confused or stuff like that. And while I've seen some bad examples of this, actually I've seen some pretty bad examples of this, is it something that we should go as far to say we should never breed spider ball pythons at all? I'm going to say no. And here's the reason. I keep going back to this. This is kind of the video that triggered it. Going back to Animal Adventures video, he talked about how if you don't buy spider ball pythons from breeders, they'll stop producing them. You know, because it's supply and demand. If the supply is very high but the demand is very low, they're going to stop producing them. Now, as we all know, there's no way, unless you get some crazy law going in, that you're going to get rid of and stop spider ball pythons being bred. That's not the way it is, and that's not the way I think it should be. Here's what I'm proposing. I've showed you guys this spider ball python. He's the only one I've got with this gene. But I've held many others, and I'm good friends with a good amount of breeders in, my area within, 3 hours of where I live. And I've talked to a lot of them about this problem, I guess. But as you can see with this guy, he's one of the, pretty good examples of not having much effect with wobble. Here's what I'm proposing, basically. Instead of Animal Adventures and people like this coming out and saying we should just stop breeding ball pythons, the spider ball python gene altogether, why don't we come together and make an agreement that instead of completely destroying the demand for these amazing snakes, they're beautiful, they're great morphs, instead of trying to destroy the demand by just telling people not to buy them from breeders anymore, why not inspire a new kind of innovation, something that's better than that, way better than that? Meaning, what I'm basically breaking down to is instead of going out and saying that we're just not going to buy spider ball pythons anymore, they shouldn't be bred, let's encourage breeders, and let's try to get together and be like the Brian Gundys of the ball python industry. If you don't know what that means, that basically means we're breeding for quality, not quantity. Brian Gundy has talked about many times with his piebalds, his spiders, he's breeding for low head wobble, good-looking animals, and with his piebalds, he's phenomenal spiders he does really good with in terms of head wobble. Now, as you can see, this animal is expressing very little signs of head wobble. He's got good tongue motion, his head doesn't shake very much. He might act a little bit weird, like maybe you could have called that head wobble, I don't know. His head does shake a little bit, like it is right now, just the slightest amount, and overall, I don't think it's going to ever be bred out of the spiders. You're always going to have that connection to them. But to say that we should get rid of them totally and not have them it's just not realistic, and it's just not something that I would recommend. I'm proposing that we need to work on, and I personally am going to work on this, trying to get spiders down to having head wobble characteristics like this guy so low that it's not even noticeable by the average person unless they know what they're looking for. It's not as bad as some people have been proposing, and you know what? To me, I don't even look at them as spider ball pythons, okay? If I pick up any snake and they act with head wobble like that, I won't get them because I don't want that kind of traits in my breeding pools, meaning that I don't want to have that kind of gene or trait floating around. So when I picked out this guy, they had like 5 spider ball pythons all at once, got them all out, picked the one I thought had the best patterning. This guy I got, very reduced patterning, love the stripe, I love this guy, and he's hopefully going to be going this year. He's absolutely amazing, look at him, some amazing colors. And he had the least amount of head wobble, and he actually struck at me once when I was holding him. But you know what? I figured that with this color, and especially the lower head wobble, some of the other guys at the shop, I had one that was going back and forth and stuff, wobbling and things like that, the place that I got him, but this was the guy that didn't have much head wobble. And that's basically it on the spider ball python. So the main point I want to get across to you guys is, if you're looking to get a spider ball python, I would not recommend getting them online. If you have to, and you really want to, you think they look great, you can go ahead and do it. Make sure you get from a trusted breeder, and you can ask him questions about the head wobble. I would much rather you go to a reptile expo, check the snake over, see how its head wobble looks, interact with it for a little bit, and see how that goes. Try to get the one with the least amount of head wobble, because Overall, if you ever decide to breed or you're just having a snake, it's going to help you out a lot. Some spiders have it really bad, and in my opinion, breeders should not breed the spiders that have it really bad. If they want to, that's fine. They should go ahead and do it. But we're going to hopefully on this channel teach customers and teach reptile lovers how to identify the head wobble. And I think those people that are just breeding to get spiders and aren't trying to, work this head wobble thing out like I will try to do, and like Brian Gundy is trying to do, and other people like that, they're going to find that they're going to miss out, because spider ball pythons, I believe, that are going to have basically no head wobble are going to be going for easily 3 times the amount from a normal, right? Hope you guys enjoyed this video very much. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you didn't like it, you can go ahead and give it a dislike. I wouldn't recommend it, obviously, because it's my channel. But if you do give it a dislike, I encourage you to go down in the description, in the comments, and just tell me why you gave it a dislike and what you didn't like about the video. Just because some people go on and they give it dislikes, and I never have a chance to communicate with them. If you think I'm wrong, please leave it in the comments. If you think I'm right, also please leave it in the comments. And if you guys like the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.